This is a raid guide for Holy Priests in 11.0.5 of the War Within. We are going to be going with Archon in this build. If you are looking for Mythic Plus as well, check the description after this video because I actually am doing that separately. It's very beginner focused, my guides, if you're new here. So we are going with Archon. First of all, obviously Intellect is going to be our best stat. Getting a higher and higher eye level and getting your set pieces are going to be the top priority here. For our mastery, it's called Echo of Light. It's very simple. Your direct healing spells heal for an additional amount over 4 seconds. Okay, cool. The first thing you need to understand with Holy Priest is how the holy words work. So, can you see on my weak aura here, which there's also a link in the description for, which is the Luxfos weak aura. We have two kind of icons here. That is for these. Holy Word Serenity. You see when I use them, it's then, it's gone, it's recharging. And I've got Holy Word Sanctify. Sanctify is AoE, or, well, multiple target. Serenity is single target. These are our kind of big spells. So let's look at Serenity first, which is the single target one. It's on a 1-minute recharge, and it performs a miracle, healing an ally for 500,000. Now, that is on a minute cooldown, so we can't use it very often. Cooldown is reduced by 6 seconds whenever you cast Heal or Flash Heal, which are our other single target spells. So it's got a 23-second cooldown now, and you can see when I use my Flash Heal, can you see it's coming off much quicker? Boom! And I can use it again. So if I use it, and then I use Flash Heal or Heal, you can see just how much quicker it is coming off cooldown. So you can actually use it a hell of a lot more than you think. The same thing is going to be with Holy Word Sanctify, but for multi-target. You can see I can heal everyone in an area, like this. Release a miraculous light at the target location, healing up to 5 allies. The cooldown is reduced by 6 seconds when you cast Prayer of Healing, and by 2 seconds when you cast Renew. Now, we aren't actually talented into Prayer of Healing in this build, so we won't be able to actually do that. Not at this point, anyway. So that's how our Holy Words work, and that plays a lot into our rotation. So I just wanted to cover that off first. The other thing is our hero talents. We are going with Archon, and this massively revolves, quite literally, around your Halo spell, which is this one here. And casting Halo as raid damage is coming in is going to be our main and number one priority to use on cooldown. So when I use it, it creates a ring of holy energy around you that expands, healing our allies. Now, with the hero talents, it changes it a lot. The first keystone talent, Power Surge, casting Halo also causes you to create a halo around you every 5 seconds for 10 seconds, and the radius of Halo is increased. Allies healed by your Halo receive increased healing from us. Creating a Halo grants Surge of Light. We're going to talk about Surge of Light, which is over here shortly. Increases the healing done by Flash Heals, affected by Surge of Light. So again, because of our Halo, we're then doing more and more healing. And then, remember I said, we're not going into Prayer of Healing. Well, Energy Cycle, consuming Surge of Light, reduces the cooldown of Holy Word Sanctify by 4 seconds. So there's this way that we're actually going to be reducing the cooldown on it. And then we have here Halo damage and healing is increased. And Halo now centers around you and returns to you like a boomerang after it reaches the maximum distance, healing allies that it passes through each time. So it's kind of like a pulsing Halo that we now get. So this has been a bit all over the place, but it's going to make sense why I've done it like this now. Number 1 priority then, use your Halo. Number 2 priority, use Prayer of Mending. It's on an 11-second cooldown, and this can actually bounce around to different people, and it's so efficient and always has been. It places a ward on an ally that heals them the next time they take damage. So as soon as they take damage, they're immediately healed, and then it jumps to another ally. It can jump up to 6 times, and we can also use it on an 11-second cooldown, meaning we can put it on multiple allies, etc., so it's just bouncing around different ones all over the place, healing people. We then have our Serenity and Sanctify, which I've already spoken about. And I've actually forgotten to put something in here, so let me just slot something in there. There we go. I was like, hang on a minute. So the next one, along with our AoE, is going to be Holy Nova. an explosion of holy light around you that deals holy damage to enemies and healing to allies. Now, this is really cool. You can use it instantly on the move. However, we're not really going to be using it like loads like that. Can you see this buff down here? Rhapsody. The damage of your next Holy Nova is increased and the healing is increased. And as you can see, that's going up to 220, 240, 260, to 80%, etc. Rhapsody is from a talent, which is here. Every 1 second, the damage and healing of your next Holy Nova is increased. So when it gets up to 20 stacks, and if you're using a weak aura like I am, you can see it here in the center of your screen, then we're going to use it. Okay, so let it stack up and then use it to emit a load of healing, basically. Now let's talk about Surge of Light. Can you see I've got this like angel wing has come up on my screen here? This is from the Surge of Light talent, which is over here, that we've already spoken about a little bit. Your healing spells have a chance to make your next flash heal instant and cost no mana, and it can stack twice. So when you see a ribbon come around your flash heal here, that's from this one here, Surge of Light. So when I use it, it's then instant, and it can stack twice. Flash Heal is a fast spell that heals allies for 250,000. So it's quite fast. However, it is very expensive to actually cast. So we don't want to use it, a crazy amount, as our mana will drain really, really quickly when doing this. When we get Surge of Light, however, obviously it's going to be instant. And it's going to cost no mana, so it's going to be free. So whenever you see the ribbon come up around it, make sure to use it. Don't forget, when we're using our Halo, you can see here, we are going to get a Surge of Light. Let's just recap on these talents. Creating a Halo grants Surge of Light, increases the healing done by flash heals affected by Surge of Light, and then consuming Surge of Light reduces the cooldown on holy words Sanctify. So Sanctify here, the AoE one, when it's on cooldown, you can see when I use my flash heal, can you see? When I use the Surge of Light ones, that will reduce the cooldown on it. Doesn't really tell you that in the tooltip, but, it is happening. So we're going to use our flash heals in the Surge of Light, and we're going to do that for a certain reason. And that's because of this talent down here, Lightweaver. And you're starting to see how it's all building together now. Flash Heal reduces the cast time of your next heal within 20 seconds by 30%. And increases its healing done by 25%. So what we can basically do is use our Halo, which will give us Surge of Light buffs, and then we use those Surge of Light flash heals to then do more healing with our heal, which you can see down here is the Lightweaver talent. So we can then use our heal, which is going to do loads more healing because of our Lightweaver talent, and we've got loads of Surge of Lights because of our Halo. You're going to get multiple Surge of Light buffs from the Halo, and using the Surge of Light on your flash heal will also help remove the cooldown on Holy Word Sanctify. Holy Priest used to be quite simple, and they're starting to make it a bit more complex now, but honestly, I believe it used to be too simple, and now I think it's getting really, really fun. And then we're going to use our heal on the Lightweaver stacks that we get from it. There is one other thing, which is like resonant words here. Casting a Holy Word spell, so these two, will increase the healing of the next flash heal by 40%. So if I use Holy Word Sanctify, that is then going to increase the next healing of my flash heal by 40%. I'm then going to use my Halo, which gives me a free instant flash heal, which then increases the healing of my heal. So what you kind of want to do is rotate using a Holy Word and then a flash heal and then a Holy Word and then a flash heal, and then obviously your heals, because they're improved with the stacks here from using your flash heal, and obviously Halo is going to kind of improve the healing on these. So it all can get a bit messy, but in a really good way because it's increasing healing of each other. So let's just recap through that again before we go any further, because it is starting to get a bit complex. Use your Halo pretty much on cooldown and use your Prayer of Mending on cooldown. Use your Serenity to do large single target healing, and use your Sanctify to do large AoE healing. Use your Holy Nova at 20 stacks here of Rhapsody, which will be happening passively. Use any free uses of Flash Heal to obviously heal single target people. Once you've used 2 flash heals, you should then be using heal to spend your stacks of Light Weaver here. You should also be weaving Holy Words and then flash heals because of the Resonant Words buff. And that's kind of the main rotation that you're going to be doing when healing in a raid environment. Going on to cooldowns now, we have Divine Hymn. You can use this on a 3-minute cooldown to heal everyone within 46 yards over a few seconds. Each heal increases all targets' healing taken, so it's going to increase how much healing people are taking. Then we have the big daddy holy word, Salvation. This is on a 12-minute cooldown. Heals all allies within 46 yards for 50,000 and applies Renew and 2 stacks of Prayer of Mending to each of them. So this one here, they're all going to get 2 stacks of this, and they're also going to get Renew. It fills the target with faith, healing them over 15 seconds. Not really a spell we'll be using on its own, but we will obviously use it passively when we use Holy Word Salvation. Now that's on a 12-minute cooldown. However, the cooldown of this one will be reduced when you use Serenity and Sanctify. So you can see here, the cooldown goes down, the cooldown goes down. So basically, you've got your heal and flash heal, so these two, reducing the cooldown of Serenity. And then you've got your Surge of Light, so your instant and free flash heals, reducing the cooldown of Sanctify here. When you use Sanctify and Serenity, it will reduce the cooldown on Salvation. The other 2 cooldowns we have are Power Infusion and Symbol of Hope. Power Infusion will increase your haste by 20%. Now, you want to use it on somebody else, though, because of this talent, Twins of Sun Priestess. Power Infusion also grants you 100% of the effects when used on an ally, meaning if you use it on yourself, you get the effects. Use it on an ally, you both get the effects. Symbol of Hope is a bit different. You bolster the morale of raid members, and they each recover 30 seconds of cooldown of a major defensive and regain 10% of their missing mana. So this is a really great supportive spell we have here. Our last one is Guardian Spirit. Calls upon a Guardian Spirit to watch over the friendly target, increasing healing received by 60%. If they die, the spirit sacrifices itself and restores the target to 40% health, and you can cast it while stunned. It cannot save the target from massive damage. You know, something that is like meant to be a raid tactic. You can't like get out of raid tactics by just going, oh, I'll just use this instead. But it is and can be used for kind of normal large damage, if that makes sense. So basically, just saving someone from death, basically. Let's just go through it again. Use Halo on cooldown. Use Prayer of Mending on cooldown. When you use Halo, make sure you're using your Surge of Light stacks. And also try and weave in Holy Words, single target or AoE, to obviously then do more healing with Flash Heal. Once you've used 2 Flash Heals, whether they're free or not, you then should be using a heal to get increased healing from there. Use Rhapsody on your Holy Nova to use the 20 stacks whenever you have it. Use your Divine Hymn, Holy Word Salvation, Power Infusion, and Symbol of Hope cooldowns as instructed by your raid leader, etc. And with your other healers. And then outside of that, we're just going to use Heal as our filler. That is just your filler one. You can use Flash Heal to get some quicker healing out, but just remember, don't use it too much because you can really drain your mana down quickly. So I'm not saying only use it when it's a free one. You can still use it outside of that. Just be careful not to use it way too much. And that pretty much is it for the main rotation. I know that was a lot to take in, so I'm going to very quickly talk about some utilities we have. But what I would say is just get used to the main rotation and then look through kind of all the other talents and see how they come together, etc. And see how they sort of, all come together. Because there are other talents in here that you may find interesting. I wouldn't really say there's anything in here that is really affecting what you do. Maybe Renewed Faith, where your healing on allies with your Renew is increased by 6%. So when you do put Renew on them from Salvation, you're going to be doing then more healing on those allies. And then there's Trail of Light. When you cast Heal or Flash Heal, some of that healing is replicated onto the previous target you healed with Heal or Flash Heal. Again, it's happening passively. And then you'll also notice there's a Naru flying about. That's from Divine Image. When you use a Holy Word spell, you summon an image of a Naru. Whenever you cast a healing or damaging spell, the Naru will also cast a similar spell. And if an image has already been summoned, its image is empowered instead. So if you're thinking what the hell's going on there, that's why it's happening. So for those utilities, we've got a few here. I'm only talking about this obviously in a raiding environment. Leap of Faith you can use to basically pull an ally out of something horrific. You know, if they're standing in the fire, pull them out of it with Leap of Faith. There's a lot of raid tactics where this can be really handy. Angelic Feather, you can actually macro. This can put a feather on the ground. So you can use this to help allies move quicker out of something, or you can use it on yourself. It's placeable on the floor, or you can use a macro to put it at your location. And this is basically going to speed you up, or whoever up. Master Spell can master spell magical effects, harmful mainly, for many allies in a large area. Very amazing, that one. Power Infusion is almost a utility. Powered Fortitude, obviously, we've spoken about. And there's Purify to remove magic effects on your allies as well. If you have any questions at all on that, I know it's getting quite complex now, Holy Priest, although I do think it's getting better. Do join the Discord. If you want extra help from me one-on-one, you'd like my UI, not including the Elf UI bits. My UI looks like this, basically, normally. I have my action bar here. I use Voodoo here to actually heal with. And if you want help on how to use Voodoo, or the profile I use for Voodoo, you can get that on Patreon. My details profile is on Patreon. The rest of this UI is all on Patreon, as well as macros like the Angelic Feather one. I put all things like that on my Patreon as well, and that's the main way you can support me as a creator. If you're looking for a Mythic Plus version of this video, then check out the playlist you now see on screen.